is Talon, and none of you are entirely sure which world he hails from, as he has appeared in some of your travels before. But he, in this establishment, is a master of the lute, the drums, the flute, and also an entertainment specialist, and a master of stories and fables. The music around you all begins to kind of die down, and even the crowd starts to simmer a little bit as he pulls out his lute and begins strumming the strings rather slowly. So, he says, strumming the strings lightly. Here we find ourselves again, I see. From what I heard, you've all been up to a few things since our last encounter. You'll have to tell me all about it later, and if you tell me anything worth mentioning, I promise I will turn it into legend. For now, however, I have one for all of you. A story which I've been eager to tell for some of you for some time. Have any of you perchance heard the story of the gnome and the halfling? The ones who destroyed the great city wall whilst riding atop each other's shoulders? It looks to you, Cass. Ah, I can tell I've told you this story before. Never mind then. How about the tale of the story that begins with Once Upon a Time? Wait, no, I haven't sorted out the ending to that one quite yet. What if the... Ah, I know the perfect one. You'll watch as suddenly the music begins to change. He tightens the strings, and all of a sudden, these different sounds begin erupting all around you that don't quite match the instrument, and the noise of the tavern just completely grows silent. So, long ago, a great empire ruled the vast jungles and mountains of the land known as Chult. The people prospered under the guide of its great kings and queens, each destined to accomplish great things in the name of their empire. Towering ziggurats lined with gold rose high above the jungle trees. Markets filled with the finest goods from all across the globe littered its cities, filling them with trade, wealth, and life. But it was not to last. An event that scholars of this world know as the First Isolation tore the fabric of our world. The great celestial bodies in the heavens above, through which once all magic flowed into the world, were closed. Some say it was the gods abandoning the world, and that it was the end times. Others claim that it was a phenomenon of nature that we may never understand. Regardless, the isolation cut off the power of the sun from this world, and with it, some of the most powerful magic it provided to the defenses of the Chultan Empire. One by one, the great cities of Chult fell to the horrors lurking within the jungle, until only one remained. When the sun's light finally shone with arcane power once more, there was nothing left but ruin. The great empire was nothing but ruins teeming with all life except that of humankind. Nowadays the jungles are home to large, horrific reptiles, and the scattered remains of a vast undead army that once served to annihilate the empire during the isolation, under the command of the human-turned Yuan-Ti traitor, Rasnisi. Now, through this all, however, the great port city of Nyanzaru remained, a great monument of wealth and trade, yet still a shadow of the empire which once it served, and now serves, continuing into the day as a testament to its former glory. What remains of the empire has been picked upon by ambitious adventurers and explorers, though much of Chult remains untouched. Yet whilst the mortal races scavenge over the bones and rubble of the past, a power dwells within the jungle. Across the world now, its power can be felt. A priestess of the Lady of Light, the religion of mainland Sigmaria, has divined the nature of this power. Whatever it is consuming the souls of the dying, and the souls of the ladies most devoted and are rising not into the paradise of the lands hereafter, but are being pulled towards Chult and the mysterious lands that lay beyond the walls of Nyanzaru. It is there that your story will take place. It is there that some of you will make your fortunes, where some will find answers to questions you have yet to ask. Regardless, each of you shall face horrors of a kind you have never seen. Some of you may fall to the darkness yourselves. If there's one thing in this story that I can promise you, my friends, it is that all will be tested within the jungles of Chult. And on that note, we shall let our story begin. went too fast for the music this time. God damn
Can I just say, as soon as you said within the jungles of Chult, I want to say roll credits.
it.
Can I just say that ski mask is on the wall in the back?
Yes, I was gonna have Talon's
Wait,
picture
is that a
covering
Navi?
it. Okay, let me just lower down Talon so you guys can actually
No!
see the extent of this bar.
It's definitely
That's
hollow.
so
It's definitely
Jared
hollows.
before.
I did actually
There's a lot-
manage
there's
to
a lot of
record all of
references in
that,
there.
and I love
Yeah.
that I
You
did.
got
I see,
Avatar, you got Fallout, you got Star Wars, you got Harry Potter up
the-
there.
There's Journey in the foreground there.
And
the
Witcher as
Matrix?
well.
We have Finn's helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where? Finn's helmet?
Yeah, look, right here.
There's the
Anywho.
Majora's Mask, and then
Oh,
there's
whoa, you can draw?
Final Fantasy. There's the Buster
Yes,
Blade.
please do not abuse that.
Buster
Anywho.
Sword.
We have like Princess's Bride in the background.
Yeah, that's great. This image is very nice.
Don't abuse that. The first thing he does is draw high. That's definitely hollows, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, first on the way, we're going to be starting with. No, we want a different one from that. We want. Here we are. So, the day has started. Most again, now the bright red sun has risen into a glorious golden one above the city of Nyanzari. And as we make our way through the streets and such, we come across two figures who, though clearly are a little different from the rest, are simply normal humans, and from the very least we can tell that they are related in some way. Matsuti and Tatsuti, could you guys kind of describe yourselves to some folk? What they might see when they look at you?
Sneaky Snoop.
Oh, I would say Matsi me would be standing over Tatsi, shaking her head as he rummages through something. Obviously not something he should be going into.
And what about you, Tatsuti? Are you just sneaking around in someone's barrels?
Sneaky Snoop. And pickpocket.
And pickpocketing. Well, you guys find yourselves in amongst the busy streets of the Red Bazaar. Here in Nyanzaru, there are a number of different markets for a number of different purposes, but the Red Bazaar is the most commonly used by Nyanzaru and its citizens. So named that it is believed that it's been permanently made red by the amount of dinosaur meat that is butchered here in the city streets for profit. As you guys make your way through the streets with what I'm assuming is Master pulling Tatsuya away from, once again, another attempted thievery. The two of you are stopped by a merchant fellow. Young man, short, black-beard, Cholton by nature, so he has very dark skin. He approaches both you. His clothes are, they're not of a fine material or make, but they are of a much more upper standing than your typical modest browns and greens that you find in amongst the common people. And it's more there's a mix of blues and yellows in his outfit. And he approaches you both with this box in his hand. He says, hello, my friends. How are the both of you today?
Oh, we're fine, I suppose.
That is good. That is good.
You
two
interrupted
look
me,
like the-
sir. Excuse me.
I'm so sorry, my lady. I'm so sorry. And he bows constantly. And before pulling the box up once again, he says, "But the two of you look like the beyond the walls type, right? You go out there and you find the treasures hidden in the jungle.
You look
And
like
I
you're
have here
beyond the
for you."
walls too.
Oh, no. I'm not beyond the walls. I remain here safe within the city. The jungle out there is much too dangerous for a man such as myself. But I have here inheritance from my grandfather. He was such a man. And while he's speaking, you guys just in the distance, you just hear a loud kind of boom. Not loud enough that you guys would react to it. Not loud enough that goes entirely out of your notice either. He continues speaking. I have this in here, a map from my grandfather, leads to the ancient city of Mangalore. Now, you should most definitely have this in your personal inventory if you're going out beyond the walls. Many secrets hidden there, let me tell you. I'd be willing to part with the modest price of, 50 gold pieces.
It seems odd that you would be so willing to sell something from your grandfather. Why don't you just go out and get it yourself? Or maybe we can strike a deal where you give it to me for free, and whenever I actually find the treasure, I return and give you a portion of the prize.
Yes, but you say when you return, there's no telling what will happen when you leave the city. Is the unfortunate thing. What about you, young son? He looks at you, Tatsuki. Like, what about you? Would you be willing to purchase said map?
I don't know, man. I kind of get those for free. I have my ways.
I'm sure you does. I'm sure you do, and he kind of takes his attention off you, realizing that okay, you're definitely not the person to be speaking to with business. Looks back up to you, Matsuki. Well, it is a fair offer, but there's the unfortunate thing that you might not make it back from the jungle. Is the only thing. I mean, no offense to you,
Well,
milady.
why would I pay you for such a risk? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I suppose if that is the case, you don't necessarily have. And you both of you make a dexterity saving throw for me. And Cass,
Well-
I'd like you to make an athletics check.
Oh god, here we go.
See, now you're asking me to do technical stuff I don't understand.
If you get up
Like-
your character sheet, and you guys go, you shall see there'll be a box that will
Are we
say,
going from the right?
yes, we are definitely going from the right.
Well, fuck.
So if Matsuki and Tatsuki, if you guys get up your character sheets, you should
Mhm.
see under a box that says proficiency bonus, and with the 2 next to it, you'll have a box labeled saving throws. And you both, I'm fairly certain, have dexterity checked.
Mhm.
So if you
Yes.
go ahead and just
Yeah.
click dexterity for me on the saving throws.
Clicked.
Okay, so Tatsuki, you kind of almost have like a sneaky snook sense, which
Oh,
yeah.
which kicks in well before it happens, and you just kind of step to the side as barreling past you is this young Cholton woman. You kind of get you, Matsuki, she runs into you, but you don't react. You're like a mountain, and someone's just thrown a pebble at it, and all of a sudden, landing right behind you is this young Cholton girl who just lands straight on her ass after bumping into you.
I'm
And-
sorry.
Cass, if you could go ahead and describe Tess.
Tess is pretty much a really skinny kind of girl. She's very timid, very scared. You don't know why, but she just is running for her life. She doesn't look like she is thinking anything. She's just in flight mode.
And physical description?
Physical
if any?
description, she's moderate height. She's around 5'8", 5'9". She's around the height of a normal elf. She is quite pretty for, you can tell, like a low kind of style person, so which isn't really normally seen on the streets.
And the instant that this fellow who was talking to you guys about the map sees Tess, he suddenly gets down and says, oh, my dear, would you be interested in buying the map? Is that why you rushed forward? You can sense that there's great opportunity and potential with this thing.
It's sad that you
no.
keep trying to sell this map, and yet I've already seen it.
Well, if you're not...
You showed me the map.
are-
You don't think I'm not smart enough to actually remember what it looks like? It looks like you need to actually learn to keep your treasures a little bit more well hidden, sir.
He just kind of puts it into his throat. Well, I shall take my business elsewhere to people who truly respect what lies beyond the jungle for the sake of the old kingdom. And starts kind of wandering off further into the bazaar.
Well, anyways, thanks for running into me, I guess.
I'm sorry for running into you. I didn't mean to. I didn't see you.
You weren't seeing much of anything. What were you running from?
I can't say.
Tatsi, get away from there! Get back over here! Say
this
hello
note
to her.
is so shiny. I'm sorry.
I know, but look.
And you watch as a merchant who's just a simple jade jewelry stand just goes, hey, get away from that! Go, shoot!
Did you actually manage to get anything valuable from here yet, Tatsi? I'm tired of this.
Oh yes. I got me a fidget spinner
And a map.
and a map.
Actually, Tatsi, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check and a stealth check together.
All right. I gotta find it.
Yep. Okay, so your hands, as you guys have made your way through the bazaar, your hands have kind of been trying to dip into pockets and to swipe things, but the only thing that you've managed to swipe so far today has been an apple. But you were completely unnoticed in doing it. Usually the merchants around here, from your experience, very keen-eyed. This is a very common place for robbery.
Totsi, what did you actually manage to get?
Listen, this apple is the apple of gods.
It's just a little
It
apple.
tastes pretty good.
How are we supposed to survive
It's
out
just
there
fine,
if we
it's
actually
fine.
don't have... It does look like a pretty good apple. Good job, Totsi.
From the looks of it, apples aren't commonplace here in Schult. This has clearly been imported in from Sigmaria, the mainland continent, and it does look pretty ripe and fresh.
I'm telling you, bro.
While this is happening, Russ, you stand before a simple woman who's just sitting on the street with a goat next to her, who's gone through the process, speaking only in Sholton, trying to describe the area for you after you've asked her where you are. So far, you're getting nothing out of her. Thanks.
Okay. Yes.
Yep. So she kind of looks up at you and goes, "Hadarin," and she points over your shoulder. Hadarin un Kersebal. Kersebal.
I just look at her,
She
kind of crook my head to the side.
She kind of just pulls the goat a bit closer to her, and she points again. Kersebal. Kersebal. The bird Kersebal. Would you go ahead and describe your character for us?
Well, I'm a birdman, Aarakocra, with eagle-like features. I'm wearing a full set of leather armor, like kind of a tribal loincloth type deal. It's all decked out in tribal markings, and I'm just looking around constantly. My bow and quiver at the ready by my side. Just cautious and looking lost and maybe a bit confused.
Okay. At this point as well, you also hear in the distance. And that's all you hear. And it's loud enough that, and once again, it's loud enough that you've noticed it. Quiet enough that it's not an issue in your thoughts. As you see this woman pointing off in the direction saying, Kersebal, Kersebal, you kind of follow her finger around and you see, walking before you, a sight you were certainly not expecting. Though you've seen them before, you haven't seen them so far in this city. You see a chest held aloft by three. The only other description is dragon rats, and standing on top of the chest, a much taller dragon rat with a much more noble bearing, holding a stick as he kind of shouts in what you assume is his language at some poor merchant who's just kind of looking more confused more than anything. Raz, if you would describe Vrak a little bit for us.
He's about a bit under 3 foot tall. He seems fairly confident in all of his movements. He doesn't seem to be making a lot of sense to those around him, and whenever he looks down to the 3 creatures carrying him in his chest aloft, you'll often note he punctuates the end of his sentences with a smack on the head from the stuff he's carrying. He's wearing quite heavy robes. And yeah, I think dragon rat's probably the best description.
The better term that you know them by, Russ, is that they are kobolds, but most people refer to them as dragon rats as more of a derogatory term. And for Vrak, you finish shouting at them in gibberish once more, and you hear under you, with the chest being held, you hear Snex whisper up, "Master!" And this in Draconic as well, Rusty. You are not understanding a word of this. Master, did he tell you? Did he tell you where to find it?
Did he?
No, he's looked at you confused for the past half an hour as you asked the location of where to find the great truth.
You see Vrak look down, screech something fairly inaudible, strike Snicks, whichever one it was on the head, look
Snacks.
back up at the merchant and start poking him in the chest with the staff.
Merchant kind of swats it aside and then comments, says, "No, you get out of here. You get out of here. I got no time for you. Go, shoot."
At this point, I start jumping up and down on the chest, stamping in anger.
You hear the muffled groan of your three attendants as you the weight kind of lightens and then just comes down right onto their shoulders again. And at this point, that you do see the odd-looking Birdman off to the side, just kind of looking at you with a curious look.
I slowly turn my head to look directly at him, point my staff in his direction, and yell something in Draconic, and the chest begins moving towards him.
I quickly put my hands to my waist where my bow is, and I have it very ready to draw an arrow in case I get out of there.
Okay, and you watch as these three little kobolds, lofting the fourth, make their way over, chest on top of them. And this kobold on top is not at your height. He probably comes about up to maybe your chest, sitting on top of that chest. Or standing on top of it, rather.
It's at this point, the creature in front of you bangs on the side of the chest and points up with the staff. The kobolds underneath the chest strain. You can hear them groaning in weird noises as they lift the chest up just high enough that I'm just in your eye line.
Is this where's this chest exactly? What is it openable?
I mean, I'm standing on top of it.
I see.
While all this commotion is happening, I am attempting to pickpocket a businessman that seems to be looking at the distraction.
There are a few people who've noticed, one, this tall feathered individual, and two, this very odd collection of kobolds, and there are a few people who've stopped to have a look. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check.
I like to describe my group as a cacophony of kobolds.
Cacophony of kobolds, very well. So make a sleight of hand check there, Tatsty. You've rifled through. You've in the distraction kind of began to reach, but people would kind of look back at you as they kind of felt something there. Bit used to watching out for pickpockets in this part of the market, and you kind of quickly pull your hand back, and they don't notice that you were trying to steal from them. They think more that you kind of brushed up against them, trying to get a view of the place.
Motzi, can you actually ever... Excuse me, Tatsi, can you actually ever accomplish anything? Come back over here. Tess...
Hey,
what,
I was almost
You never
successful.
answered my question as to why you're running off so quickly.
I just need to leave.
Okay, whatever.
Meanwhile, I turn to the Cholton woman who I don't understand, and I look at her and emit a faint.
As you turn away from Raz, he begins to poke you in the chest. Bangs his staff on the top of the chest.
I immediately snap back and draw my bow.
Oh dear, and it looks like they're about to kill each other over there.
We can't draw attention to this place. I need to leave the city.
You're there.
Get the hell out.
You all hear rise up through the market, and coming out through in the mix of the bazaar, you see three individuals. Though armored, their armoring is not like that of many of the guards who kind of make their way around this place. It's more of a patchwork of bits of gear. They have like a piece of plate armor on their shoulder, a little bit of chainmail, and some like leather gauntlets and such. A bit more raggedy looking, and they're pointing at you, Tess. Says, "You want to come back with us, girl? Your master waits for you. As does the lash. At
Can I
this
use
point,
my,
we'll drag everyone.
Oh, never mind.
You can still do whatever.
Can I assist Tess in this situation? Because there is one way I can assist her. You know it that way. I believe.
This is true.
Can I use that?
The cloak thing?
Yes.
Seeing as how they've already spotted
Seen
her,
her?
or what did you have in mind?
I don't know, maybe pushing her into an alley, and then doing that, and then push her into an alley, then have Tatsi cause some sort of commotion.
Oh, I can do that.
Hey Tatsi, see those guys up there? Go distract
Yeah.
them for me.
Done.
Alright.
Would
Here,
you guys like
Tess.
to tie my shoes?
Let's take this. Here, let's go over this way.
What are you doing?
Put this cloak on, just put it on.
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Very nice shoes indeed.
They see you approach them, Tatsi, and it's kind of like, get aside, boy, and one of them kind of slaps you across the face.
Oh, sorry, what was
Presumably-
that?
I quickly run over after giving Tess the cloak, and I quickly run in front of my brother and tell them to lay their hands off of him.
Presumably, we've noticed the kerfuffle at this point.
Yes, you notice these individuals appear, and
Uh,
and you very audibly heard the slap sound out through the bazaar.
I look at the apparently angry Birdman. Audibly sigh. Point at him with my staff. Point at the kerfuffle. And then we trundle off in that direction.
You and your attendants.
Yes.
In
Okay.
response, I go prone and go into the alleyway. Very sneaky. No one notices me leave.
No, you have to roll a stealth
Mm.
check for that.
God damn it.
Motsy's
Also,
still
with
standing
massive
there.
disadvantage, being that there's a bunch of people staring
Yeah.
at you, wanting to beat you.
I would say so. 14 is not high enough from going from standing in front of them, even with your sister moving in front of you to kind of defend you. Everyone just sees you kind of get on the ground and start crawling. And they all everyone kind of stops, and the guards look at you, Matsti, and they say, "You are to step aside as well. That girl belongs to Ifantaroa. We shall take her home."
So, as he's beginning to crawl away, the cacophony of kobolds sort of sidles up next to him, slowly walking along at the same speed as him as I'm staring down at him. Sort of give him a poke.
Tatsi, you feel a small jab and a poke on your back as you're kind of crawling along the ground.
What the? What? How can you see me? I'm invisible.
Tatsi, you're not invisible, you fool. Get up. Making a fool of yourself.
Tess, what have you been
Fine.
doing during this time?
I've been sitting quiet, waiting.
You haven't
Cloak on,
moved
I don't know
anywhere.
I haven't moved anywhere. I don't know what this cloak does, so I'm literally standing here like, why do I have this cloak on?
Can I still see the Cholden girl?
You can see her, yeah. You can notice that these individuals are pointing towards her.
Okay.
By this point, I've shifted my attention away from the strange dragon rat and towards the kerfuffle happening further down the street. I can't quite get a good vantage point though, so I leap up into the air and hover a bit, just looking from afar, trying to see what's going on.
Okay.
Also, still keeping an eye on that dragon rat at the same time.
How would
Okay,
you
so
describe Tess's bearing?
Tess's bearing. Tess, how would you describe your bearing? Are you just kind of standing there looking very worried, or what's happening?
Yeah, very timid, very like I'm hiding, like I'm holding my body kind of thing, like just pretty much protecting myself, trying to see where I should go.
While Motsy
Okay.
stands tall in front of the guards.
Okay, we shall rearrange them a bit here with you trying to break it off here.
I
The cacophony has come next to you here.
I jump down from the chest, motion my cacophony to lower the chest to the ground, lift up the lid, walk up behind the seemingly frightened girl and start pushing her towards the chest.
And at this point, the men, the armed men, kind of see this and go, "Enough!" And they kind of try to shove you aside, Matsu. So go ahead and roll another dexterity saving throw for me. They are not pushing you over. You do kind of go off to the side, but they haven't thrown you to the ground. They have drawn their swords, and their eyes are directly on you now, Tess.
Alright,
And
so
at this point, I would
can I
like
get a
everyone-
surprise round here? Because I'd like to do something quite surprising.
I will allow it this time.
As they try to shove her out of the way, I dart over, stick my head up between her legs, point at the closest one, and shoot him.
And shoot him.
Yes.
What are you shooting him with?
Eldritch Blast.
So you run up between Marzi's legs?
Yep.
You run up. All of a sudden, Marzi, you kind of look down and you see this hooded, like, scaly snout poke out from between your legs, and all of a sudden this blast of, what color would you say your particular Eldritch Blast is?
Purple with blue crackling lightning.
There you are. Go ahead and roll Eldritch Blast.
Well, this is an interesting
Roll a
thing right
it's
here.
a D20.
D10.
D20
Yeah,
is
no,
a
it's
ranged
a
spell
hit,
attack.
yeah. I have accidentally just closed roll 20, sorry.
No.
I'm loading it back up. You can roll it for me if you'd like, man.
Sure, I'm just getting the this thing up. And that's that, and where's your character sheet?
I get +6.
+6, okay.
Is a natural 20, just kills every single person in the market.
Okay. That's +6 to hit. It does not hit. It very much does not hit. You raise up your hand, and the blast just goes kind of flying in between them. You hear all of a sudden, and then you see in the distance another market stand which has just been lit on fire and is now
Motsy
glowing.
jumps back in surprise.
Okay, now I will get everyone to roll initiative for me. You should see, when you do, if you can, have your token selected, and then roll initiative.
you
Roll
want
an
me to re-roll
initiative.
again?
How I got about doing that?
Okay, so you see you'll have your hit points, and then above that you'll have a box that says initiative.
Never mind, I got the same roll.
So make sure you guys have your tokens selected as you do this.
My
And that
token
adds it to the
selected.
turn order.
Easy.
So yeah, click on your thing and then roll again.
Well, I see the initiative part. I'm just confused about the token issue.
Damn,
just-
Toasty.
You should just be able to click it. Hang on.
I mean,
I'll
I can
check
click
the
it. I
screen.
just want to make sure that I'm doing it right before I click it.
Okay.
Oh no.
No, 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 no.
Poor Rez.
What a guy.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hit initiative then.
I think he surprised himself a little as
Oops.
well.
Okay, 10. Okay, I'll just add a 10 in there for you. Alrighty.
Otherwise the slave
I
goes
would like
down.
it noted that my retainers are attempting to put Tess in the chest.
Okay. The retainers will take that turn with yours. And second, they get a +1. Okay, a 10. Alrighty. So, at this point, combat has now started. I'll get rid of that music. Close your damn thing. There we go. Okay. So, we have first up. Let me turn that down just a little bit. Alright, so first up we have Tatsi. What are you doing?
So, I go to the guards, I pull down the trousers.
Okay, so you can move your token around as well. Keep that in mind. So you can kind of mark it. So each of most of you have about 30 feet of movement. So you can go anywhere in that line there. So you're
Oh,
pulling down
Lord.
one.
Tatsi,
If
what are
you're
you
pulling,
doing?
It's a distraction. Quick.
Tatsi, don't
Um,
sacrifice yourself at this.
for pulling down someone's trousers, haven't actually done that before, so I'm gonna say that's a.
I
I
would
think that's
say
sleight of hand. No, we'll make
Yeah.
that an unarmed attack, and then you'll make a sleight of hand check to see how well you do.
It'll be a contested check. Are they still a thing?
Contested checks are still a thing, yeah, but we'll go with actually whether he can reach out and grab the dude's pants first. So go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Target pants.
No, slash roll 1d20.
Yeah.
You kind of like just sprint into the commotion, realizing, okay, now's the time for a good distraction. You run in, you grab the guy's belt, and he just kind of whips around, just elbows you in the head, and you just kind of go back off of him. And now they've got their attention on you. Or at the very least, they know that you're part of this as well. So you could not pull down his trousers. Next up, Tess, your turn.
To be honest, I didn't expect Tess to be that high on the register.
You can hold your
Hold.
action if you'd like.
Yes, hold. She's just looking timidly in the corner, like trying to wondering why so many people are trying to help her because she's never had anyone help her before in her life.
Alrighty. Next up, we have the armed men's turn. So there's a few of them.
Sorry, just real quick.
Yep.
I feel like it's important that I clarify. Vrock isn't necessarily trying to help you. He's trying to help himself to you.
Yeah, I know, but that's what she doesn't understand that yet. Like she's just
Okay,
wondering
cool.
why there's so many people helping.
Alrighty. Next up, bandits. Okay, so the one next to you here, Tarsi, has seen you kind of reaching for his comrade's pants, and he's just going to go ahead and attack you with his scimitar. Draws it out and slashes. Your AC is not higher than a 19, I'm assuming.
My what?
Your
Your AC.
AC.
Armor class.
So above your hit points and next to your initiative, it should be a number, armor class.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yep, so your AC is what?
13.
Okay, yeah, so this hits you. And it is going to do 6 slashing damage. So go ahead and mark off 6 hit points. So you're now on how many health?
2.
Damn.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It was worth it.
No, Tatsi, no!
Rusty, I think you might need to save your brother once again.
The one in front of you, Rock, is ignoring Tatsi. His comrade's taking care of that. He's just going to go ahead, make an attack against you. And we'll also use his scimitar, or scimitar rather. At 20, I have to
That's a
assume
hit.
hits, and does 2 slashing damage.
Vrock screeches in rage.
Matsi
And then-
sees Raz up in the air and almost gives him a desperate look for help.
Alright, Raz, you've kind of gained a bit of a commotion or a bit of a following as people have just seen this winged figure rise up into the air. A few people are going like, "Oh, look at that!" They're completely ignoring the combat that's just erupted behind them. There is one more bandit who will take his turn. He is going to step. Oh, nope, that's the drawing tool. He's going to step out this way. He's going to approach you, Tess, and he's going to attempt to grapple you. So that make an athletics check or a
Dexterity saving throw?
yeah, no, make that a acrobatics one just in case. He reaches out to grab you. Not only do you pull away from him, you don't really realize you're trying to do it. You just kind of roll onto your back and back round, and you just kind of roll away from him backwards, and you just kind of look up at him, and you're just kind of surprised, like, uh-oh, this might have just made things worse. Next,
Okay, hold on. let me move
Raz,
backwards.
it
I'm
is your turn. Raz?
So,
Okay.
let me think here.
Oh, fuck. I forgot to do something. Damn it. I
What
have a
was that?
reactionary thing. I can do that as a reaction to being hit, can I?
You
I mean, it's too late now,
can.
but how do the reaction things work? You just...
Reactions, you either can prepare them or you will have things in your class that allow you to take a reaction. Like, say, for example, like you can take this as a reaction as a warlock. I'm not sure exactly what the warlock stuff is, but we can look into that after this.
I have a spell that's cast on as reaction, so
Ah,
presumably
which
it's...
spell is that?
Hellish Rebuke.
Okay, since it is too late, I won't say you use it this time around, but next time
Oh,
absolutely
I
you can use that.
forgot. It's all good. I just meant
Yeah.
to.
All good. All right, Russ, what do you do?
So I'm looking at the fight, keeping.
How high up in the air do you think you're kind of hovering at?
Maybe about 10 to 15 feet.
Okay, 10 to 15 feet. We'll say 15. Okay.
The fight has caught my eye, but something else has also caught my eye.
Hmm.
The chest by the kobolds.
Okay.
The fight doesn't concern me as much as that chest does. I'm going to move towards that.
Okay. So the chest is probably behind Snux, and Snacks, so that is 70 feet away. What's your flying speed?
50.
Okay, so you can get to about here, and you hover 15 feet above Tess. Alright, you gonna take any actions?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Next up, it is Matsu's turn.
Tatsi, why did you do this to me? Well, obviously I'm gonna want to defend him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I suppose I'm going to attack something. I suppose that would be one of the bandits. I'm not entirely sure. I guess the one that's directly facing Tatsi right now. One of them.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably. Oh, what's this red mark mean? What? What is all this?
That red mark is just something I accidentally drew.
Okay. No. Like, the circles whenever I click on my...
That's a blip, so that
How do I do that?
essentially allows you to bring attention to things.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I suppose... Wait, a blip draw attention to things?
So like, say if like, oh, look over here, I can hold that and then go.
Let me just see if blips are enabled for everyone, like so everyone can actually see it.
I can see Nox one.
I'm making blips.
How do you blip?
How do you blip?
Hold down,
cursor.
click.
Do everyone see the one? Yeah. Okay, I can see.
So either way, I'm gonna be
Okay.
attacking something, so how do I go about doing that?
Okay, so who do you want to attack? You attacking the one facing Tatsi?
That one right there, yes.
Okay, how do you want to attack him? So you have
I have...
you look down on your character
my
sheet, you have your
my
attacks.
swords and my bow.
With your swords?
Let's,
Okay.
Yeah, let's run into the brawl. I can't help but, want to get in there, especially with him so desperately wounded. I will definitely throw myself into there.
Okay.
So short swords, yes, whatever. Yeah, we'll definitely do
Okay,
that.
so you're gonna run in. So you can click and drag your token up to the guy that you're attacking. You got to be within the 5 feet of him. There you go. So go ahead and click short sword for your attack.
Hmm.
That unfortunately does not hit. You run in, sword in hand, fury in your eyes, start slashing at the guy, but he kind of sees you coming and just kind of backs a little bit
Dodges.
away. He not quite as gracefully as he probably would have hoped. He kind of stumbles a little bit, but he's avoided the attack for now. Vrak, it is your turn.
Okay. Do I notice the Birdman flying directly towards my chest?
Roll a perception check. You can definitely hear the flapping of wings kind of moved around behind you. but you haven't, and you kind of see him flying up. You don't really know where he's headed, though. You can tell that he's kind of making his way around the battlefield.
I sort of scowl at the guy in front of me. And screech something completely undiscernible, and attempt to blast him again.
Okay, go for it. So D20 plus your spellcasting bonus.
So 20.
All right, roll damage.
Good. Sorry.
All right. Is that plussing any other modifiers onto that?
I don't believe I have any modifiers at this stage.
Okay. Actually, let me just have a look at Hellish Rebuke.
Different spell. This is Eldritch
Oh,
Blast.
no, Hellish Rebuke. Yeah, Eldritch Blast, my bad. Eldritch Blast. Yep, just 1d10 force damage. Okay, so you raise up your hand once more, this time kind of looking where you're aiming instead of just like kind of just throwing the magic out there from between Matsu's legs. You blast the area right in front of him. And Tatsi, this guy almost like bolts back into you as like the front of his chest is like essentially scorched and he's looking very injured. Like the whole wound itself has been cauterized and it's just melted through whatever armor he had on his chest. And he kind of looks down at his chest and looks down at you, Bryce. What the hell are you?
I then get a movement action, yes?
Yes.
I sort of just nod my head, and if I move away, am I going to take an attack of opportunity?
You are.
I can't 5-foot step, that's not a thing anymore?
Nope. You can disengage as an action, but that's an action. But whereas rogues, they can do that as a bonus action.
And my reactionary spell, can I do it to an attack of opportunity?
No. No, it's reactions are usually stuff that's occurring on an enemy's turn.
But if he's attacking me and it's a reaction to an attack, does that not mean I'd be able to do it to an attack of opportunity?
As far as I know, that the reactions work usually on a situation that's actually, again, on the enemy's turn. I'll have a look for you very quickly, though. Hang on, grab the player's handbook.
It just says any creature that's damaged me. Casting time, 1 reaction.
Alright, well, it doesn't directly specify from the looks of it, so we will say that, yeah, if you wanted to, you can use your reaction on the opportunity attack.
So I'm going to move over to there and begin dragging her towards the chest.
Okay, he is going to make his attack against you as you try to run away.
I sort of nod my head confidently and then just start walking away and grab her by the pants.
Okay, so he has hit you.
Yep.
So go ahead and use Hellish Rebuke. What was the specifics on that again?
He makes dexterity saving throw and takes 2d10 fire damage on a failed save, or half on a successful.
Alright. And dexterity save, you say?
I believe that beats my spell DC.
Yep, it was 14, I'm fairly certain. So he beats it and he takes how much was it? Half of it?
Half of that, so 5.
Okay, well, strikes at you. Does it say that it cancels out their attack or anything? Or no?
No.
Just a reaction to. Okay, so you take 7 slashing damage across the back as you're running off. And after he's hit you, he just kind of laughs, and all of a sudden he sees the blood upon his blade. It just kind of starts glowing. He's like, huh? And he just gets immediately combusted, and he just falls down, Tatsi, right on top of your feet, and just kind of looks up at you with this wide look, and with these eyes, which are essentially on fire right now. Alright, it is your turn, Tatsi.
Okay. So, in light of me being hurt, I think to myself, I should probably escape this. And then I noticed this commotion around all of this chest. So, I dash to the chest while no one's looking, and
Everyone
I
is
use my
looking.
10
Everyone is
feet
looking.
oh, well, everyone's looking, and I use my 10 feet of string and tie it to my back and run away.
String wouldn't
okay.
hold the chest.
I'm
for
so
starters.
fast. They don't.
So for one, you are locked into combat with another person. So for you to leave combat, it will be coughing an opportunity attack. So that's essentially you've turned your back to that person, and they can just reach out and attack you. Pretty sure you don't have your rogue thing that allows you to just disengage whenever you want, but I will check. Rogue. No, so you don't have your cunning action yet, so you will cop an opportunity attack if you decide to go for the chest.
Oh no, that's
And then another one from me.
Let's see.
So you're currently sitting on 2 hit points, and you got the fella in front of you.
I guess I can just use my my dagger. Fuck him.
Okay, so go ahead and click your dagger for an attack. Are you using just one dagger? Yep.
Who exactly is he attacking this time?
The one in front of you, the one you tried attacking.
Okay.
Because you failed.
And
Yeah,
you have also
Mr.
failed.
almost died.
I'm gonna die after this one.
You lunge out, dagger in hand, and just start swiping at the same guy that your sister's attacking. And the guy's kind of clumsily dodging these attacks, which the two of you, without kind of thinking about it, have kind of gone into sync with like moving amongst each other and slashing. But despite the fact of how you guys have been trained, this fool is somehow avoiding every attack by luck. Alright, next up, it is Tessa's turn.
Okay, so with all the stress of like this little dragon-looking, serpent-looking thingy is dragging me towards a box, I have a flying bird above me, and these two people just fighting, and the guy in front of me. I look at the guard in front of me right here, and just with all the stress, I just scream and cast
Okay, you've just killed me.
Thunderwave. No, it's only in front. It's a wave right in front of me.
Hang on, I need to look at specifics because I get the feeling that Vrock's actually right.
Oh, cute. Oh, yeah, fuck, never mind. Don't
Yes,
worry.
so that's an explosion around you. Imagine it's more as kind of like a shockwave around you.
Yeah, never
You've
mind,
also
don't worry.
probably killed my retainers and that poor merchant over there.
Probably also me.
Yeah, because you're 15 feet above, aren't you? Yeah, no, you've killed us
Yeah.
all.
Congratulations, you're level 3!
Yes. This is confusing because she can't really do anything.
In the box.
Hold on, let me have a look at my cantrips. Hold on.
Oh, turn
Whoa.
that down.
It's a strange.
Wait, how long is
I'm gonna change your pace.
Wait, is that damn, I need some never mind. I was gonna use my friend's cantrip to get that goat to see if he can butt the guard in the back. Okay, with everything that's happening, I'm just gonna go along with the little dragon demon thing that's pulling my leg across towards the box.
Okay. So you're going to move with him towards the chest?
Yeah, like hesitantly, like anywhere is better than my master kind of thing.
Okay, we'll say that you've moved in the space between, like he's kind of shoving you along and into the kind of waiting arms of Snacks and Snucks.
He's a
You want
Okay,
assisting you into the box?
Yeah, well,
Ultimate
you
plan has
could by all means kind of walk over them, and they count as just letting you into the box at this point.
At which point they close the lid of the box and relock it.
How big is this box, by the way?
It's a very big box.
It's a big enough box. It's probably about 4.5 feet, probably about 2, if not 2.5 feet tall. And so there's enough space for you to kind of crawl in there and just kind of curl into a ball. The question is, are you hopping in the box right now?
They will protect you.
I'm like looking at the box and looking at these 3 little things just peering up at me, and like debating if I should get in the box. And I turn back towards the commotion and literally say, even if I end up dead, it's better than being in the hands of my master. And reluctantly get in the box.
There
And
goes
they
my
close
cloak.
it on you like mafioso style, like the way like closing a car boot on someone.
You
And
see their eyes as the as it closes.
and with that, you are now inside inside the box.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You're in for a ride.
Oh my god.
All right. It is now the guards' or the bandits' turn. The one in front of you guys here is gonna run. It's gonna run towards you. Like, actually, it's gonna look up at you, Ross, and say, like, "You, I'll give you 5 gold pieces if you get us that box." Like, see that?
Oh, fuck, sorry.
Did you crash out of roll 20 as well? Oh no, I've just got your picture covered.
I mean, at this point, I make a counter offer. You can't understand it, but I make a counter offer.
What do you counter the offer with?
6 gold pieces.
He can hold up 6 gold coins.
No, I just screech at him a lot.
I'm sorry, I totally was not
And
paying
point
attention.
at
That
the
by
guy
me
that made
again,
the initial
Mr.
offer.
DM.
We're all supposed
So
to go on an
the-
adventure
the ba-
together. This is not going
The
out very
bandit
well.
points at you and then points at the box and like says like
Oh, okay.
five gold pieces if you get us that box.
At which point you hear some
But
screeching.
you've also just seen Tess, like this poor like Cholton girl, just hop into the box and these 3 kobolds have just shut it on her. That's all
She
you
got in there willingly. She got in there willingly.
I look at him and I say, "What do you want this box for?"
Fine, 10 gold pieces and you get it for us. Just do it. No questions.
I look at him even more confusedly and like, why do you want gold for a box? This is strange.
As in, you're thinking that, or you're saying that to him?
I'm saying that to him.
No, we will give you 10 gold pieces if you get us the box. And he just kind of goes, and he starts marching towards you, Vrock, like ignoring Ross now. And he is going to attack you.
He's going to kill me, is what he's gonna do.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone's gonna die in the first session. I can
I
already
know.
Okay, he hits and does 4 slashing damage.
I am below 0 hit points.
Okay, you are now unconscious. You all watch as this guy just kind of walks up, doesn't kind of slash him, but he just kind of goes whack across the top of Rock's head with like the pommel of his scimitar, and the little the little dragon folk just kind of falls down the stick next to him. And you all watch as well as Snacks, all these 3 other kobolds, their heads kind of go up and they just all go.
I feel it's
Alright.
important that
Are they
I
good?
mentioned that they have standing orders to put me on top of the box and take me to the nearest temple for healing.
Very well. Okay, Raz, it is now your turn. Oh wait, no, there's this other bandit. He is going to, in this kerfuffle, he's going to try and attack you, Matsu. And he's going to do scimitar attack against you. Wow, these guys are on fire with their rolls. I'm assuming that's a hit. What's your AC?
13.
Or your armor class?
13.
13? Okay, so that is a hit and you take 2 slashing damage.
I swear, like
dead.
there's some sort of programming that CD has put into it that they never strike.
I control nothing! Usually my NPCs are rolling terribly. With the other party, they miss all the time.
Terrible
Listen to
shots,
new
bro.
people, they always.
Yeah. Alright. Raz, it is now your turn.
Alright,
So you've watched
So-
as this man just kind of knocked the little kobold unconscious.
The poor, defenseless, cute little kobold.
by this point, I've lost interest in the box. I have completely have my focus on Rock getting viciously assaulted by this man, and
Did you not
I
notice me
decide-
explode his friend? Just curious.
I did, but I didn't really pay much mind to it.
Okay.
I was more interested in the box. So at this point, I have my doubts about the Dragon Man, but I don't like seeing people get knocked down like that.
Alright, so what do you do?
I'm going to engage.
Well,
Okay.
now you engage because you definitely didn't see Tatsi, but you know.
Anyway, what are you doing for your first attack?
Well, first, can I move back before I try to make an attack?
You can. Since you're flying 15 feet above, you're already kind of out of any kind of melee range from any of these guys. But it's up to you. So you have 50 feet of flying speed to work off of with.
Just kind of out of instinct, I fly about 10 feet away,
Okay.
and I get my bow out, take an arrow out of my quiver, draw, and fire at the guard.
Okay. Make a longbow attack.
All right.
A hit. Very good. Roll damage. So if you roll, so in that little box that's popped up there, it'll say longbow with a +5. Next, just click longbow. Nice. Okay. So flying back, you'll see, okay, Tess doesn't see it, or Rock for that matter. You all hear the sound of, and all of a sudden, and a very audible scream erupts from the man who just hit Rock, and he kind of falls to his knees. This long decorative arrow is just dug straight into his chest, and it's kind of gone through like his collarbone at the top, and it's kind of popped out of his back at the other side, and he's not looking very good.
Ooh.
Okay. Pretty good
That's a flesh
attack.
wound.
Okay, next up, it is Matsu's turn.
Don't fail me.
Yeah, don't fail me, you say. I've already almost died because it. Anyways, so I guess I'm gonna attack the bandit again that's in front of me. The short sword again?
Okay. Ooh, even better, a natural 20. Awesome. So you actually do critical damage on that
Yes.
one.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Finally.
So click the short sword word below that. Very good. Okay. 7. Okay, and you actually get to add an extra d6 onto that because of your sneak attack ability. So go ahead and go /roll 1d6. So it's important for both of you rogues to understand that when you guys hit something that's within 5 feet of an allied creature, you guys do additional damage because that's you guys taking advantage of any distractions or anything.
Unrecognized
like that in there.
commands, so you said /roll?
/roll space
That.
1d20.
Oh, okay.
Roll
1d6.
/roll 1d6 rather, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy money.
That's 9.
Oh, shut up.
So you, upon like you kind of watching this guy, he's been dodging you guys clumsily, and you're getting annoyed. But then all of a sudden he slashed out at you and cut at you. You kind of look at the wound and look at him. Baring your teeth, you just jump in, flip around through the air, and then slash across the throat once, and then slash again, and you've just opened this gaping hole in his neck, and blood spurts over you and Tatsi, and he just kind of crumples and falls to the ground. He's dead.
I stand and look over Tatsi in dismay.
It all worked out, didn't it, though?
Okay, now it is Vrock's turn. Vrock, I need you to roll a death saving throw for me.
That's just a d20.
Yes.
Don't get a one.
Alright, that is a That is a pass, so you can count yourself as having 1 success. What do you want Snacks, Snux, and Snacks to do? Are they just pulling you away?
Yeah, they'd basically put me on top of the box and start taking it off towards the nearest temple.
Okay. They step out, and the man in front of you, arrow through the collarbone out the back. He just kind of watches as they kind of eyes on him the entire time, just slowly drag you away. And they put you on top of the box, and they're gonna have to make a strength check to see if they can lift you, the box, and Tess inside it. Kobold. Oh god, what's a kobold's strength?
It's not good, but there's 3 of them, and I don't weigh very much at all.
I will say that
And I'm quite light.
I'm fairly certain they have a negative modifier, but I will say that they have it with advantage because it's also you, and there's 3 of them.
They're used to carrying me around.
They're used to it, and like this is the first time in a while where they've had to be like, oh god, we've actually got to save him. Like this is we've been training for this day, carrying the box all around the place.
So just roll d20.
Yeah, go ahead. With a minus 2 to it.
They're good.
18.
Oh wow, natural 20 off of it. Awesome. So they are boxes on their shoulders. They're fucking out of here. they run off in this direction. Box on their shoulders, you on top, just kind of your grip on the stick is like iron grip at the moment. But you're just kind of bouncing around on the top of the chest as they run off.
Oh my god.
Matsi and Tatsi and Ross, you guys see this happening. Just these kobolds have lifted up. You guys know, you guys aren't
Tatsi?
entirely aware that Tess is in the box.
My cloak is in that box. We need to go follow that.
Alright, let's go. We zoom in.
And there's still a dying fellow on the floor here. Tass, it counts as your turn, so you wanting to do anything with this fellow? You're just chasing after them.
Who?
Tatsi.
Oh, I'm probably gonna chase after them.
Okay, so fellow who's left on the ground just kind of watches the 2 of you guys run off. And just gonna... I've been paid enough for this shit. And Ross, what are you doing? Are you going to pursue as well?
There is still a guy left. Just saying.
Yeah, what's this guy over here doing?
That guy there, he's not supposed to be there.
No, the guy that popped an arrow that isn't dead.
Yeah, this guy here. He's just sitting there on the ground, kind of bleeding out quite profusely.
Wait, do I need a speed check to go super fast?
You do not. You can take your action to dash, so you can actually catch up, which is basically you double your movement speed, but you don't move as far. But yeah, so that will count as a dash there.
Well, you asked what I want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if that man is going to be a threat anymore, if he's properly incapacitated. And...
Roll a medicine check.
Alright.
Okay, so you kind of looking at him. He's looking pretty rough. I mean, where you've hit him, that arrow has to have gone through his lungs, possibly his heart, to get to where it is now.
That's brutal. It's not very Christian.
And neither is trying to pull down a guard's pants instead of attacking them.
Going to decide that I've done enough damage and he isn't really willing to or able to give chase, so I think I'm going to follow after the dragon rats because
The cacophony.
they're
Okay. So you follow after them from the air. Tess, you're locked in the box. Is there anything you're wanting to do?
She's chilling.
You do feel it start to jostle
Yeah.
up, not on top, and
I
then
am
it begins to move.
currently worrying about where they're taking me. If they're taking, like,
We'll just switch on the music there.
I mean, how many cards? Let's play some solitaire while you wait.
yeah, I'll probably just praying that they're not actually like secret servants to my master and try and take me back. because that didn't pass through my head when I hopped in the box. I was too stressed.
You did see me explode one of your master's, like, guards before I pushed you into the box.
That's true. It could all be a ploy. But anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're just sitting in the box.
Sitting in the box.
Okay.
From this moment on, your character shall roleplay from within the box.
All right. I'll just put on this music here. Okay, so Matsu, I'm assuming you're going to take off after the box as well.
Naturally, my cloak's in there. I'm gonna get it back.
All right. So
Do I move my character?
I will at this point, Vrock, if you can roll me another death saving throw.
Yep, and I would like to point out that even though I'm, like, flopped down on top of the box, face down, my cloak is billowing mystically behind me.
I don't know, I just moved, so whatever.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just drag you guys.
Nope.
That is a fail. Okay.
Dang.
Well,
Okay, so we'll actually drag you guys into the Nyanzaro map. So the nearest temple for you guys are in the Red Bazaar, which is I do need to no, that's the Grand Souk, which is basically here at 8:10. I'll bring that marker up. Okay, so this is where you guys are right here. So the nearest temple for you guys will be let me just grab my book.
need sustenance.
Okay, so the
There's
nearest
some
temple.
rations in the box.
I'm talking in real life.
Well, considering you're locked in the box at this point, you feel free to go grab something to eat. And then same with everyone. If you guys need to go to the bathroom or something, so you can go do that
I'm
now.
gonna get some snacks. Be right back.
Just yeah, I need food.
Okay.
Did she just run off yelling food?
Yes. This is how she acts in